In a remarkable story of innovation meeting compassion, a local entrepreneur has created a first of its kind app that is changing the lives of people with nonverbal disabilities. The app is called Moro, and tonight we're taking you behind the scenes on how one family inspired a global solution.
The personal moment that got me to start Moro was when my older brother Marwan started a care center, and we got to shadow and see how the caregivers were taking care of him for the first few weeks. So I personally sat there and watched and observed and saw that this issue of the caregivers trying to play a game of charades, playing guesswork, trying to understand what he's saying, wasn't just unique to Marwan. It was unique to many of his peers who are also nonverbal. And this hit the light bulb with my co-founder, Omnia, when we both sat together and said, listen, there has to be some sort of solution. We sat with the caregivers at that same care center, nearly 20 of them. And they said to us that they don't have the right tools. They don't have any sort of apps or any sort of application that can support in this. And that's what brought Moro.
What began as a mission to help someone he loved has scaled into an app that will support millions of people worldwide.
This is a challenge that goes beyond our family. After we got to see the caregivers go through this in the care center in the first few weeks, where we witnessed them taking care of my brother Marwan. When jumping from caregiver to caregiver, and I reflect back at my brother Marwan and how many caregivers are involved in his care, it just goes way beyond our family. We're talking about behavioral therapists, occupational therapists. We're talking about the PSWs, so on and so forth. An average nonverbal individual can have anywhere from 4 to 8 different caregivers, depending on the severity of their condition. Now, the main issue here is not about we're looking to replace these caregivers. We want to give them the right tools so that we can empower both the caregivers and enhance the consistency of care between the caregivers.
Moro is built to empower nonverbal users by providing intuitive, accessible communication tools on a smartphone or a tablet. But what's especially impressive, this isn't just a niche solution. It's poised to serve a massive global market, millions of nonverbal or speech impaired individuals, plus their caregivers, schools, and therapy centers.
There is tens of thousands of families who are today waiting between 5 to 7 years to have access to care and funds to support their loved ones. We talked to one of the families, and access to someone like a therapist would cost them between 18 to 20,000 for 4 months of training and access to that therapist, and overall it costs more than 10,000 to 20,000 just to make sure that they have access to care centers and devices and technology that would help them with communication.
Now, affordability is key and always has been, making a difference not in just what the app does, but in who can access it. The founder says Moro is compatible with standard devices, runs on cloud-based updates, and can scale quickly across platforms and languages.
We have a subscription-based model. Our monthly plan starts at $25 for family, and the good news is these costs or fees can be covered by the government under the passport program.
Behind every great innovation, there's a visionary. But sometimes that visionary is not a celebrity CEO or a Silicon Valley founder. Sometimes it's just an everyday person, someone who simply refuses to accept that this is just the way things are.
Our biggest challenge today is traction. Having access to the people who have these problems, because honestly, even within the community, not everyone talks about it, right? So finding the right families was a problem. And also when you get access to like these daycare centers and you have a conversation with them, everyone likes the idea, but to make sure that they can try it and change that behavior of like getting rid of the old way of doing things and trying new stuff, it takes a lot of time.
Some of the biggest challenges we have seen here trying to do a startup in Canada is getting people to really take on risk. The investors here want something that is completely de-risked, completely ready to go with customers, with sales, with everything. That is the challenge, right? So what comes first? Do we have a successful product first, or does the funding come first? And that is one of the biggest challenges we've seen. And it actually has slowed down Moro and many of the other startups that we have got to work with in the different incubators around here. Second part as well is people will tell us, oh, just go after grants. The grant process alone here is so tedious and so timely that it ends up like literally slowing down any sort of innovation. And it's so sad to see because Canada has all the minds there, but unfortunately, a lot of the innovation and a lot of the minds end up leaving.
Early adopters are already seeing dramatic improvements in engagement, independence, and day-to-day quality of life. As always, thank you so much for watching. We're genuinely grateful for every single view that we get on our coverage. If you know someone who might find value from the Moro app, please share the link to this video or the Moro website with them directly to bring a change in their lives. We're curious to know what you think about our segment today or our channel as a whole, and you can share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. You're watching GTA Muslims Today. I'm your host, Moiz Rahman.